per se, the way you'll see it here in Dublin, but everybody in the pub will just be taking turns to sing songs, or maybe even tell stories, or tell a joke even. And it'll go around the room, and everybody will do it in the house. And it's this kind of song. Now, the old Shannon songs are a very, very unique song to Ireland. They're very, very strange as well. They sound very unusual.
Do you mind if I...
There's no strict rhythm
Sure.
to it, so you can't stamp your foot along or clap along to it. And also, the tuning of them is very different to a modern tune. Nowadays you have C, D, E, F and G, and every beat in the bar is accounted for. The old Irish songs, they move in and out of these notes. It's a different scale. So to a modern ear, it actually sounds out of tune a lot of the times, which is very hard to do if you're used to singing. And they tend to be very serious songs as well. You might have 38 verses in one of these things. Verses about unrequited love and dying, or emigration and dying, crop failure and dying. There's a lot of war songs as well, going off to fight in the Napoleonic Wars, coming back with one leg, finding your wife in bed with your best friend, and them dying. I'll give you a little blast in Irish of a very short one. You have to close your eyes and stick your finger in your ear when you're singing these songs, and you'll hear something like and when I'm weak, that kind of thing. I sang 3 words there. So can you imagine 48 verses of that? Now, my Irish is not great because I learned it here in school. It was taught as a formal language for me. But if you go to the Gaeltacht areas where they're native speakers, they grow up listening to their parents speaking, they speak very good Irish, they will sing those songs and they're beautiful. They send shivers up and down your spine. I'm not going to do one of those because you'd be here for like 40 minutes with my eyes closed, and I'd open them and you'd all sneaked out the door. So the song I'm going to sing now is short, it's funny, and it's in English. So hopefully we'll all be able to understand it. And it's a very simple story. It tells of a young girl who is looking for a husband. Now this girl, she finds a fella she likes, and she's delighted, and she goes to tell her father the good news, but her father has some bad news for her. So it's sung from the young girl's point of view mostly. So you have to imagine me, as I'm singing this, as a pretty young island lass singing of her woes. It's not that funny actually. If you've ever been to the Aran Islands, I'd be a catch. Very windy on those islands. There's no shops. Right, so here we go. Johnny be fine. Well, Johnny be fine and Johnny be fair, and he wants me for to wed. And I would marry Johnny, but me father up and said, I'm going to tell you, daughter, what your mother never knew. Well, Johnny, he's a son of mine, and so is kin to you. Well, Seamus be fine and Seamus be fair, and he wants me for to wed. And I would marry Seamus, but me father up and said, I'm going to tell you, daughter, what your mother never knew. Well, Pater is also a son of mine, so of course is kin to you. Well, Seamus be fine and Seamus be fair, and he wants me for to wed. And I would marry Seamus, but me father up and said, I'm going to tell you, daughter, what your mother never knew. Well, Seamus is also another son of mine, and so obviously is kin to you. Well, you never did see a girl sad and lonely as I was. The boys are all me brothers, and me father is the cause. If this should continue, I will die a single miss. I think I'll go to mother and complain to her about this. She said, well, daughter, didn't I tell you to forgive and to forget? So your father sowed his wild oats, but still you must not fret. So your father may be father to all the boys, but still, he's not the man that sired you, so marry who you will. Get her done. You know you're ready.
So that brings us very swiftly along to a part of the evening where we like to call, now it's your turn to sing. It's called the Noble Call.